can
We'll
ask
tell you after.
you can ask Flavio. Hey, morning everyone. We are starting a little bit later than I usually do, but I had my Thursday recording with Zuber, so that'll be a fun one. That'll come out soon, I hope. But we got Ray, what pros do, and Dylan back. So morning, fellas.
Hey,
Morning.
good morning.
Yeah, and we are going to talk about consumerism. So this was a great topic that Dylan brought up. So maybe where is this coming from? Like, what made you think of this video or this topic, Dylan?
So, a lot of it just stems from like seeing people not get to where they want, and a lot of it has to do sometimes with like golden handcuffs and other things that they've like accumulated over time that just prevents them from being able to save to like do the things that we're all doing, like buying rental properties and so on. But I also wanted to challenge people to think about like why you like certain things. Like for example, I like watches, but I have like G-Shocks and stuff like that. And I was telling one of my partners that I wanted to buy like a Rolex, but like the uh, one with like two-tone like Submariners or something like that. And he was like, that watch is $16,000. Why do you actually want that? I was like, well, I think it's cool. But he was like, do you think it's cool? Or do you think other people will think you're cool wearing that watch? Same thing with cars, too. Um, and so that made me really think. I'm like, would I rather have 16,000 to invest, or would I rather have a watch? And I'm like, and the $100 G-Shock works, man. And I just wanted to challenge people to like think about that, because I feel like unintentionally we do things to impress other people, even though we think it's something that we're doing for ourselves.
No, I can understand where you're coming from with that. Me being in the industry of taking photos and video production, right? A lot of people hire me to make them look good or look a certain way, right? And hey, I'll just kind of give examples, right? Agents in particular, I work a lot closely with agents, right? How would it look if you came in there with your beat up Honda Civic giving tours to houses, right? So sometimes I feel like there is relevance in what you're doing, and it, kind of the same reason why you'd put on a suit versus like a regular T-shirt to seeing a client. There's validity to some of it, but sometimes it's just not worth the price that you're paying for. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Sorry, I was just trying to figure out Instagram. It won't let me go live anymore, but all right, forget it. Well, no, yeah, I think this was a great topic. Sorry, Ray, you're going to say something?
yeah, I think really, this topic that you bring up is kind of interesting, right? Because if you have someone who is playing into that world where they're just buying all these materialistic things to look good, how long is that gonna delay their financial freedom and their advantages of like getting rental properties or whatnot? So what do you think, Dylan? Like, what do you think people should do, like, to kind of help them out to not be in that position?
I would say like with some of the things that like you think you want to have, uh, you should probably think about it a lot longer than just like you can go car shopping and you can get a car in a weekend. Like you can just sign on the financing. You don't even need to bring cash as long as you got good credit. Um, just think about things methodically before you actually go and buy them. Um, with the ease of financing, it's just like I think you guys had talked about Klarna last week and stuff like that, Mark, like the buy now, pay later things. Like it just makes it so much easier for people to spend money that they don't have yet. So like spending the money of tomorrow today. But the thing is, we need the money today and we need the money of tomorrow to go buy these things that allow us to have the free time to like do what we're doing right now, like not having to be at work right now. um I think you just, if you really like material things like that, you can own that and just say that I'm okay with working and I just want to have all of these things, that's totally fine. I'm not judging that, but I'm saying if your goal is financial independence, or your goal is to not have to work, then you should really own that goal, and you shouldn't be like, you should be killing everything else that stands in the way of that goal. So like, you don't need nice watches, you don't need super expensive vacations. You can still go on vacations, just, instead of going to, I don't know, the Bahamas, maybe you go to Florida, or maybe you go to, you know, somewhere close by that you can go on vacation. Like, if it's really your goal, you should be heading full steam ahead for it, not just like half-heartedly doing it, if it makes sense.
No, that makes sense. I gotta respond to Curtis here. Okay, there's no way I can't respond to that, bro.
What do you think?
So Curtis said, Ray, are you saying I can't show houses in my little Nissan? So I'm not saying that at all. Okay, there's a lot of different types of agents. There's agents that have like full value, that educate their buyers and all that good stuff, right? But then there's agents who are trying to attract, much bigger fish, right? And those people tend to maneuver a little bit differently, right? They tend to judge a little bit more critically when they first see you. So I've seen all of it, right? I've seen value agents, and I've seen really bougie agents, showing up in their freaking Corvettes and whatnot, right? So I think everybody has a strategy, and I think they all work. Just depends on what works best for you. Just don't overstretch yourself trying to prove something, and then at the end of the day, it look fake anyway.
Curtis, I drive a Honda Civic to my showings, so I think you're good.
Hey, there's nothing.
Curtis can just Uber, get an Uber, and
Yeah,
come
get
there.
an Uber pool to your showing.
Well, this is a little bit off topic, but to that point of agents, like you're saying, whatever car they drive or to do showings, what do you think of an agent who may not own a home? Like,
I think of it like an investor agent that's trying to sell me rental properties that doesn't own rental properties themselves. Like, I'm not going to take you very seriously, and your opinion doesn't mean too much to me because you don't have any skin in the game. Just honest opinion.
I'm gonna have to combat that, right? Because I've met people who don't own homes, and they have pretty valid reasons, right? And I would have to say that, like, it all depends on what other values are you like. Are you partnered with somebody who's doing a lot of those kind of commercial type deals, those investment type deals? Because if you have resources, then I'd say like it's okay, right? But I wouldn't just say if you don't own a home, you don't know what you're doing, just because I've seen that some agents are still well capable,
absolutely.
Now,
I think it's just you have to think about it. If you're going to be an agent and maybe you don't own a home yet, it's just something that may come up, or you just got to figure out how you're going to navigate around it. And like racing, maybe you have resources in other ways, but so you have to make sure that is known, right, to the client.
yeah, like the only thing I think about it, think about with it is, I feel like owning properties is just like a continuous cycle of problems. Maybe that's just me right now because I've been dealing with a continuous cycle of different problems with different properties. But just like knowing how to relay like solutions to your clients, or like help them through those problems if you haven't had a chance to experience those yet. Now, if you don't own a home, but you own like other investment properties and stuff like that, I could see that, like, hey, I'd rather rent and then invest a ton into these like commercial projects or like multifamily projects or whatever. Totally cool. I just think they should have some sort of skin in the game if they're going to be selling people the thing. If that makes sense.
Okay. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, everyone, don't forget I put Ray's YouTube channel in the chat. Go subscribe, Dylan's channel, so go check them out, and also the PayPal link for the one rental at a time unisex shirt that Frank is selling to raise money for the blind center. I was messing with Flavio, and I told him he got the girl version, and he kind of reached out to Frank and like, "What's going on?"
Why does this one
But
show up pink?
yeah. But yeah, we got a lot of people tuning in. So good morning. We got Andy. We got Lynn here. So Lynn is I'm surprised she's tuning in. She was on Bigger Pockets recently. So go check her out. Go check out her interview on Bigger Pockets also. But thanks for tuning in. We got Jack here. We got Kenny. Val is here, and Max. Max has been tuning in. So Max is kind of in the Oregon area. He finally finalized his divorce situation, and he's looking to invest, but he's starting to realize that maybe going out of state might be his best path. So we'll see what he decides on. Um, but
Try
yeah,
to get
back to kind of what was that?
So try to get him to come to Indy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he'll reach out to you and pick your brain a little bit more. Hey, we got Rad here. Thanks for tuning in. He is a new member in the school community, so he's very supportive. He's also in Pitts. He just bought his first property in Pittsburgh. He lives in Florida. I don't know if he lives in Florida. I don't know if he moved to Pittsburgh, but he bought a property in Pittsburgh. I think he took some of his Bitcoin profits and put it and paid cash for a property in Pittsburgh. But yeah, maybe back to the topic. We're talking about consumerism. Do you think most people even realize they're caught in a cycle of consumption, Ray?
Um, I don't think so. Like, I think people who are like, I know some people just in my personal life that I'm connected to that, they just like nice things, right? But they really can't afford it, but they'll still do it. It's like like a habit that they just don't know they have, right? And I think people who are into that and who are essentially spending more than what they have, I think it's something that they're gonna have to train themselves out of, you know.
Yeah. No, I'm with Ray on this one. I don't think people realize it until you like bring it to them. And then even sometimes when I've brought it up to people, they still don't see it as a problem. Like, you know, always buying the new iPhone every single year. I'm like, you don't need the new iPhone every year. You can wait 4 or 5 years in between getting iPhones.
Mm-hmm.
If you're at a point where it's like a drop in the bucket financially to spend $1,000 on a new phone every year, I mean, cool, do whatever you want. But if it's like, man, that money could have really gone towards saving for a rental property or saving for my next house hack or home or something like that. Like, I mean, let's just keep our eyes on the prize. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep. And some people don't have the patience, right? I think somebody I talked to, literally, it was just on our camping trip. I like the saying, it's like where you get that instant gratification, right? You get one marshmallow versus two if you wait. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of people aren't willing to wait. So
So at that though, you bring up a good point of like the instant gratification of like buying things. That doesn't last very long at all. Like when I got my new car, I was and I tried to get something as affordable as possible. That's why I'm rocking a Honda Civic, not like a Mercedes or something like that. But I only like really appreciated the fact that I had a new car for maybe a couple weeks. And then after that, it's just like, well, this is just my car. And it cost me 300 and something dollars a month instead of I think it would have been 5 or 600 for like some of the Mercedes that I could have got to, look like that agent. But, I'm not there yet.
yeah. No, I feel you on that, dude. Like, I had my truck worked on recently, and I had to drive my little 2011 beater. Okay, and sometimes you don't really think about it, but like you like the little comforts of your car, the heated seats and all that, whatever jazz.
Mhm.
And me losing my truck for like a couple weeks while I was in repair, I was just like, man. But also like I don't know, I kind of see it as a sense of like what I've accomplished and what I get to have and all the nice things. And sometimes it's okay because that brings me joy and I'm okay spending that kind of money, you know what I mean? So when you do get your Mercedes or your
Oh, no.
Lamborghini, you know what I'm saying, like I think you'd appreciate it even though it costs a lot of money.
Yeah, yeah. But the question is, would you be getting that because you like it, or would you be getting it because you think other people think you're gonna look like the cool guy in the Huracan or whatever?
I think it's both. I think it'd be a lie for anybody to just say that they're buying a Lambo to, oh yeah, I love it. It's just
I
mine.
love labor.
The part of the excitement is because it's sexy as fuck. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's part of it, you know? So I don't know. I think if you're just being real with yourself, I think that's part of the excitement.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I think do you think and I see it in Hawaii somewhat, and I'm not saying it's replacing purpose, but do you think consumerism has replaced purpose in a lot of people's lives? Like I'm looking at it more from like a lot of people in Hawaii, they just see the cost of living super high. So for them, it's about maybe buying toys. It's about buying, you know, taking those trips because you're like, you know, I'm never really gonna get ahead in a sense, right? So I'm just gonna spend my money and enjoy while I'm, you know, I have this money now. And if I work to 80, then that so be it, right? So they've kind of given up in a sense. You guys see that also?
Yeah, like at a certain point, if you're not really striving to do more, or you're not investing, I could see why someone's like that, because at a certain time, tomorrow is not guaranteed, right? So if you if you don't really got any plans and you want to have a nice car, when you're gonna buy it? If you don't have anything that you're really seeking outside of your normal 9 to 5 or whatever. So that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. No, I feel like I do see that. Like people just chasing the things, and I'm like, well, man, I, not that I know exactly how much they make, but I know we're not too far apart. I wouldn't be paying for this stuff, so I don't know how you're affording this. And they're like, oh, I got like all this credit card debt. I'm like, come on, man. You know how much, you know how expensive those interest rates are. We can't be doing that. Um, it depends. Some people don't care about that kind of thing, to be completely honest. Like, they just don't care about early retirement or retirement in general, for a fact.
Yep.
Um, totally cool, just not my style. I always think of like when I'm going to work and I'm making X amount of dollars, like I think about the things that money goes towards and like how many hours I had to work to be able to buy those things. So, I have a $400 car payment, $100 a month insurance payment for my car. So, like, okay, how many hours am I working to be able to do this? And how can I replace this with rental properties and such? Okay, well, so that saves me X amount of time. And I just look at it from that perspective. So that's why I'm so frugal with like the things I'll spend money on, because I'm like, I'm literally spending my time on these different things that I'm buying. So why would I buy things that are like super material and expensive when I can just buy my time back by investing in properties and like stocks and stuff like that too?
Well, Max says, I think if you get a decent, slightly older luxury vehicle and just keep it well kept, is a good balance between spending and looking the part, just to have to buy smart. Yeah.
Yep.
Jack says, I think consumerism has replaced, for some people, the primordial instinct of hunting and stalking. And Lynn has actually a great post of unpopular opinion. I don't like Costco. Example, extreme consumerism. Huh. What are you guys' thoughts on that, Dylan? What do you think? Do you shop at Costco?
I kind of love Costco. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, me too.
That's where I do all my bulk shopping. So like if I go get sparkling water, like, you know, I can't lie, I still eat chicken tenders. I'm 26. Still fire all the time. But like I'll get like all the stuff that I get there. I like Aldi a lot too. Do you guys have Aldi?
We
Mm-mm.
do not.
Okay, it's like an organic grocery store, but they're not like Whole Foods expensive, and that's where I'll go get like steaks and stuff like that because they're actually cheaper than Costco. So
Mm. No, we don't have that, dude. Like I don't know. I love Costco too, bro. Like I get my rice at Costco. I get my socks at Costco. Dude,
I get
Costco socks last forever, bro. I don't know why. It's just good.
I do get
I,
what Lynn's saying though, because I do get anxiety every time I go into Costco with how many people are just like running around grabbing
yeah,
things. I'm like, oh, dude, I got to get out of here fast.
yeah. No, but no, I I can understand what she's going. I never actually buy like electronics or anything like that. I more just go buy groceries at Costco. But I definitely see uh, what she's saying. Can I flip this a little bit? Like
Go for it.
because like obviously there's things to do when it's bad, but when is it okay, right? Like for me, like I'm on the flip side now where I'm like, hey, I can finally like, I can finally start benefiting from my real estate, and I want to kind of, splurge a little bit and have fun, but not because I want to stop investing, but because dude, when you are constantly just renovating, rehabbing, buying, inquiring, yeah, you get into a rhythm of like suck. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh,
And
I've been there for a
and,
while.
and
I have 5 renos going on right now.
so for me, I think it's a good balance to be like, hey, you know what? Let me take a sabbatical and like, have a little fun and not, you don't got to sell off your portfolio, but I'm just saying, just have some fun, take a breather, and then get back at it again, and then you might come at it a little stronger. So that's kind of like my approach right now. I'm taking a year off to kind of just have fun, enjoy myself, and then come back at it a little stronger maybe next year.
Yeah, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think more of what I'm going after with this topic is the people that haven't reached that point yet, that are, you know, they may be spending on things that they shouldn't be, and it may be things that they're paying, like they go on vacation and they got to pay it off for like 3 4 months, that kind of thing. And just trying to challenge that and saying, hey, let's just focus on the prize here. You can have all of that stuff that you want, materialism or not. I couldn't care less. Buy it, but we want you to get to a point where you can pay for it with your investments and such, not just spending your time on all of these things.
Yeah.
Because when we're on that side where we have all the finances to be able to afford this, that $5,000 vacation doesn't mean so much cost wise. You can just enjoy it and not even think about it. You know?
Yeah. We were at the Tacoma Fi last night, right? Curtis and all the group was there, and Dion was there, and it was just fun to kind of listen to Dion and his partner, and they were talking about traveling internationally, and the only thing she was concerned about was, I'm worried about my plants. I was like, she's like, I don't want my plants to die. I was like, I was looking at my wife and I was like, that must be a nice problem to have. The only thing you got to worry about is making sure your plants don't die. So
Yeah.
that was pretty funny.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I want everybody that's like striving for this to get to. Like, like, oh man, who's gonna water my plants when I'm gone on vacation? Not, oh, how am I gonna pay my bills for the next month? If I'm not
Hmm.
working.
Yeah,
Well,
it
to
was pretty
even like
funny.
a little more of an extreme thought on that. So even like talking about like Lamborghinis or whatever, buying the expensive
Mhm.
car. If I ever did go that route, I better have enough money to where like I don't care if it gets dinged, I don't care
Mhm.
where I park. Like if I'm gonna buy something like that, I don't want to be like I'm worried about if I park here. I'm gonna be like looking for parking like for like 2 hours because I want the stall that's like no one else is around me. So if it ever gets to that point, it's like I better have enough money to like, hey, if I gotta fix something or whatever, it's not a concern, right? And that's the way I look at it now. But
Dude,
this Costco brought up a lot of discussion. Let's see. Well, Flavio does say Curtis, Ray, and Dylan, you guys are too young to enjoy life. What about me, Flavio? Why not me, man?
wait, he said
Dang,
he said we're too young to
Well,
enjoy
to
life.
maybe right now,
we need
at
to be
least.
Okay.
working harder right now.
Yeah, that's what Flavio is saying.
I'm
Uh,
going to Yellowstone with Dion, so I'm gonna enjoy life a little bit.
Max says I always buy too much beer at Costco. Jovi says we are taught from a young age to go to work 40 hours a week. Lynn says, P.S. I didn't realize this. This is a good, interesting point. She says, P.S. You don't need a Costco membership to shop at Costco. You can buy a Costco gift card and purchase things with it. Also, you don't need anything to purchase alcohol there, not even a gift card.
Hmm.
Huh. Interesting. And Val says, I love Costco hot dogs, pizza, dinner on a budget. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, love Costco and Audi. Yep. Troy says, yeah, good point from Lynn. It's affordable when you have a family, I guess. That's what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Costco has great rehab products, huh? Shower heads, lighting, flooring, some stuff cheaper than Home Depot. Interesting.
I
Whoa,
did see
Flavio's just
Costco.
taking jabs today, man. He said, Mark, Frank, and me, we need to be at full throttle because he's calling us old.
Oh
How old
my.
is Flavio? I thought Flavio was a young dude. No.
Flavio? No, he's an old dude. He's like, I don't know. He's like Frank's age, probably.
Oh, okay.
Now I don't know how old, but I think he's on the older side. But yeah, he still walks around with a flip phone though. So talk about he still has a flip phone, right? So, he hasn't bought the new iPhone or new smartphone or whatever. But I don't know. I don't know if he gets all the memes I send him though. Um, was there any instant regret on a purchase you may have made?
I don't know. When you were talking about like we're being worried where you park your car, I still do that with my F-150, and that's no Lamborghini. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Like, I can't think of anything purchases wise that I really regretted.
Yeah, I really don't have too many either. Usually, have you guys ever heard that thing like, hey, if you really want to get a tattoo, like think about it for like a month or two before you actually get it because you're going to be stuck with that thing forever. And what you
Mhm.
think is cool now might feel very stupid in 60 days. I kind of do that with like bigger purchases. So I'm like, do I really need that? Because sometimes it's just the thought of the fact that you think you need that is what's exciting. So like once you buy the thing, it's over. Like and a lot of it's in the branding and like how these companies sell their products. But at the end of the day, if you just think about it for long enough, you probably won't care that you don't have whatever it is that you really thought you needed.
Mhm.
Now, one thing I do like to spend money on is vacations and stuff. I do like to go places. We've talked about this, Ray.
Yeah, I, dude, literally, I'm the kind of guy that goes off a whim. There's things I don't care about money when spending money on. One is food. I don't think I ever count money for food. And then you could tell, right? I'm a pretty big dude, but like another one is vacations and experiences. Those are things that to me, it's like those are the most valuable. So
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm dealing with the repair guy real quick. He's messaging me. I
Oh,
don't know
no
why he's
worries.
calling me at 6 in the morning. Um, I totally agree what you said. Dentistry, I don't know why y'all talking about, but I agree. Oh well, thanks,
Well, thank
Godfrey.
you.
We are talking about consumerism for the most part. How it's kind of what's holding society back in some ways, in some regards, where people are working, 40, 50 years on a fixed income when they retire and whatnot. So
Hmm.
we're just talking kind of about how that mindset and how we kind of maybe got trapped in that in a sense. And I definitely feel like I headed down that path and was always looking to buy the new iPhone and you don't and they make it so easy too. So we talked
Yeah.
about other live about the buy now pay later, right? So you're not looking at the total cost of it. You're like, oh, it's $30 a month. I can afford that, right? And so they do make a lot things a lot easier and it just constantly keep you in that rat race.
Yeah, it's like you've been into like an Ashley furniture or something like that. They're like, you can get this couch for $300 a month or $200 a month or something like that. It's like, okay, what's the cost? And they're like, yeah, this couch is 10 grand. I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna be on a 7-year payment plan for this couch that you're giving me interest free because you doubled the cost of it. Like, no, no, thanks. Um, they do make it easy to spend money like that. But yeah, I think some people too, like they've just hit a point where they've kind of given up on not even just the early retirement, just retiring in general. Um, just because of like the cost of things just are so shocking to people, so they're just willing to do whatever without actually like thinking about their future. Nathan's asking what we're talking about. Consumerism and how it's dangerous and how it prevents people from hitting their goals.
Here's the thing I do. Okay, there's things that I want. Sometimes that I get that consumer side of me, right?
Mhm.
For example, we were going camping and I really wanted to get e-bikes after my Montana trip. I was like, dude, e-bikes are so much fun, right? And renting the e-bike was like $300 for the day for my wife and I. And I was like, that could have gone towards actually buying our own e-bikes, right? So one of the things I do is I'm a very good Facebook Marketplace negotiator.
Mhm.
So what I do is if there's something I want, I'll let somebody else pay the premium, you know what I'm saying? And I'll buy it used, right?
Yep.
And I sometimes I get things away like 30% off, 40% off. Like, my RV, I got it used and I let somebody pay the premium on that. And I think there's ways for you to be able to enjoy yourself without having to pay such a premium on it if you're smart and you're
Mhm.
willing to wheel and deal a little bit. So that's one way that you can get the stuff you want that you don't have to hurt yourself financially too much.
Well, yeah, and if they list that at 30 or 40% off the actual price, you can just start, throwing stuff in for 30% below that.
Oh yeah, let me tell you guys a technique, okay? If you're on Facebook Marketplace, 50%. Every time somebody is selling something, I literally negotiate 50%. And then I message about 30 other people the same thing. And one of those people generally comes back to me and says, okay, you know what
What
I'm
you gotta
saying?
do is this method that my friends use for buying cars. You'll have like 5 or 6 people, and we're all gonna submit different offers to this person, and they're going to be progressively more offensive offers than the first one that the initial person did. So they're just lower and lower, and then eventually they're like, "Man, this is the only person offering me like any decent amount of money on this thing. Like people really think this isn't worth much."
Oh man, you're one of those trolls. Oh god. Dylan's the ultimate negotiator here.
We
Yeah.
got some new people tuning in, so thanks for tuning in. We got Nathan who's tuning in from England. Got Godfrey here. He said he's just checking it out, and Mr. Second. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe, please, and go check out everyone's channel. I'll put Ray's What Pros Do and Dylan's channel also in the chat. But Lynn has kind of on the topic of something you purchased you may have regretted, but she kind of a little more specific. She says, "What is something you guys have spent money in the past, let's say 6 months, that would be viewed as absolutely unnecessary?"
Hmm. Shoot. That's such a great question.
Now, would you think this would be a vacation, or are we thinking like, okay, let's skip the vacations because we all know we're going to agree on we like doing
Yeah.
those. Like it needs to be a material thing.
Yeah. Let's stick with the material because I think that's what she's going for.
I think that is what she's going for.
Um, See, mine is not that expensive. It's like
Mhm.
it's stupid stuff, right? Um, Little creature comfort things like a mouse pad. Did I need a new one? No, but mine was looking a little scrubby, so I bought one. You know what I mean? But like, so I don't generally spend too much on like, I don't know. I guess the e-bikes were a huge splurge, but I enjoyed them. I love them. I'm over here customizing them. So
Does it count if I say like I bought a Samsung TV for like my living room and I really liked that, so I bought the same Samsung TV for my bedroom?
Did you have a TV already though?
Well, I usually like don't have a TV in my room. Usually we just have one in the living room. So I
Mhm.
was like, nah, I want to be able to watch stuff in bed now too. So I bought the Samsung TV. I got the 65 inch in the living room, 55-inch in the bedroom.
Yeah, but I don't think that you regret that. Do you regret it?
I mean, it's something I didn't need to spend $500 on having another
Yeah,
TV in my bedroom when I already had my computer.
yeah. I don't know. How about you, Mark?
Oh, you know what? So that's kind of funny. I've been kind of going back and forth on it. So I haven't bought it yet, and I was going to bring it up to you actually. I don't know if you have any experience with it, but it's those little cameras, like that 360. Um,
Mm,
like Insta 360 or something. So it's like the one you can clip to your hat, and it has like the magnetic thing to put on your front, so you can. Yeah. So I'm debating whether, because I want to start doing, especially because I'm going to Japan early July, and I was like, oh, that'll be good. I don't have to carry my phone and like record. You can just like clip it to your hat, record, and that one has like the adapter where you can plug it right into the iPhone and download it that way. So I've been going back and forth on it. I was like, it's probably been like a month. I'm like, shit, should I get it? Should I not get it? Um, but
Facebook Marketplace, Mark. I'm telling you.
all right. I'll look into it a little bit more. We got Mr. Second, thanks for subscribing. Wait, hold on. I'll put their channels right after this. We got Steven from Canada. But Curtis says he needs some tips. He says, I agree. I too splurge on food. I need tips to dial it back. I hate shopping, prepping, cooking. Any advice on that you guys got?
I don't know, man. Like when it comes to food, I love food. You know what I'm saying? Dial back something else. That's my opinion. Sorry.
I'll say, like I like to buy this stuff from, like if you just don't like cooking a lot, like there are like those protein bowls and stuff like that, or you get Factor. That's probably cheaper than going out all the time. Um, I'm just lucky that I have a fiance that usually preps all of my stuff for me because she meal preps for work. So she just meal preps for me too. So it makes it super easy for me to not go out. But when she is out of town, like now, because she's on a family vacation, yeah, no, I'm just going to like the local Mexican restaurant and stuff like that, or like Chick-fil-A, because I hate cooking.
Mm. I don't know if
Well,
you
that's
really.
well, that's Dion's thing, right? He doesn't cook anymore, right?
Yeah, I would like to ascend to that level.
Hey, Sonic, thanks for stopping by.
Mark,
That's a wild take, Sonic.
Yeah.
Mark, you said you're going to Japan. You got to tell me. I lived in Japan for 7 years, so you got to tell me where in Japan you're going.
Josh said food is a weak spot. Everyone, I put everyone's channels, Ray's, Dylan's, Lindsay's, go check them out. Please subscribe. We're gonna go to Osaka first, and then we're gonna go to Fukuoka. So the elementary school that my son is at, they're having like a school function with one of the schools there. So because we are gonna go for that, we said, we might as well go like a week earlier to Osaka. So we'll be in Osaka and Fukuoka.
Isn't that like more beachy? Like
I have,
more.
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, it should be fun. It's going to be hot though, I heard. So like Mikey is there right now. Mikey's in Japan right now. So his girlfriend is lives in Japan. So he's doing the passport bro thing. So uh, but he's there right now. Thanks, Sonic. Thanks. Yeah, hey. We
We did
as
laugh.
long as you don't attack anyone personally, we're all up for comments and laughing, and just don't attack anyone personally, please. But also subscribe and like before you leave. But thanks for stopping by. Let's see. Yep. So let's see. Lynn says, Curtis, get you a significant other who loves to cook. Yeah, that's what Dylan's doing, right?
Yeah,
Cook
that's
for
what I
you
was
as
saying.
a love language.
Yeah,
Ah.
that could save you money right there, Curtis.
Yeah, yeah. Especially if they're working too, and then you're house hacking, but you're saying you're covering all the housing costs, so they just got to go grocery shopping for you guys. There you go.
Quick question.
Let's see. So Steven's in Canada. He's a new member to the school community. He's looking at investing in Pittsburgh. He says, quick question. I'm trying to be very frugal with my expenses to put into real estate. When is the right time to spoil myself to keep myself? Huh.
I think I get what he's saying. I would say like it's not something that like you have to wait until you're at this point, but like more of like a periodic thing. Like, hey, we're not going out and doing stuff like every single week because we are trying to save money, but like you need to give yourself something every so often, or you're gonna hate trying to save this money and do this. It's kind of like when you're working out and you like really hate eating a certain way. But like periodically, you're like, oh man, I really want like some cookie dough ice cream from Culver's or something like that. I don't know if you guys have that where you live, but that's amazing stuff here at least. But yeah, you just got to give yourself something every so often, so you don't feel like it's miserable trying to save for real estate and stuff.
Yeah. And like for me during those times, when I was trying to buy property, my wife and I would just find things that were a lot cheaper to do. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um, if we wanted to watch a movie or something, we would probably just maybe like rent a movie at that time back in the day when you actually did that. and then um and then we would just like get tons of snacks and stuff like that and just have like a movie night at home, right? So I think there's still ways to make it fun and you know, uh still enjoy yourself.
Sorry, you read the same one. I saw the look on your face, Mark. I was like,
Man, I don't know which one of you is bringing out these
it's
people
not
today,
me.
but
It's
it's
not me.
either
It was
Ray or
Emptier.
Dylan. But I don't care as long as you guys subscribe. That's all I care. Come stop by, talk your smack, talk your shit. As long as you subscribe, just no personal attacks, please.
Are you
But
sure
yeah,
that's not AI?
it
That's
could
gotta
be.
be it.
I don't
Gotta
know.
be
It could
AI,
be.
bro.
Oh, Josh has a trip to Kauai coming up. Yeah, that's
Ooh.
my that's a beautiful island. I mean, it's a very so that would be probably so I would say like Oahu, where I'm on, is probably the most hectic. Busy. High rises, whatnot. Waikiki, Maui is a little more in between, more touristy. Has touristies, has some, not as much high rises, and then you have Kauai, which would be like kind of in between Maui and the Big Island, where it's still a little more country, and then the Big Island would be like country. Oh, soccer question. Any of you guys into soccer?
Very slightly, but I picked Messi over Ronaldo.
Yeah. I'm so ignorant on soccer, bro. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I would say Messi. I'm not a big soccer follower, but yeah, I would probably go Messi. Let's see. Oh, did I answer Tomiko's question? I forgot. Was that the one? I was getting into it and then I saw that one comment. Where did it go? Did I skip over it? Where did it go? Shit. Oh well, if I find it, everything is moving. Oh,
CJ.
that is the one. That is the one. Okay. Lynn says I have a high yield savings account with Ally, and they let you do buckets for the same account. I have a fund bucket and put some money into it every month. Fund needs to be planned, just like budgeting is. Hey, that's great advice for you, Stephen. I think that's a great way to look at it, right?
Yeah.
All right,
That's a
Jack. I'll see you in a few hours at the Pittsburgh call, the Western PA call on Zoom.
Dude, I can't with whoever is in this chat.
Well, is it like them, whatever
Yeah.
you are, whoever you are? Like I said, as long as you subscribe, you're making us laugh, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Andy says it's difficult when you've misunderstood finances in your younger years. When you get older and things are more clear, it's still difficult. Asset or liability? Do I need or want? And can I buy five? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's what me and my son and even my dad, we've been playing the cash flow board game, the kids version, and he likes it. So we finally opened up the regular version. It is a little bit more nuanced, so we'll see if he picks up on it. Yeah, there's a lot more involvement in it. The kids one is very, very basic, but it does get you in that asset liability mindset. So we're gonna probably try and see if he can figure out the regular version. Um, Flavio asked, Ray, have you thought about co-living? So Flavio is very interested in that strategy.
Hmm. No, not really. And not that I'm against it, but no, I haven't, and I haven't met too many people actually doing it. Like when you say co-living, is it like everybody's kind of living together? You're living there, and there's like multiple bedrooms. Everybody's staying in it.
So that's what Jared does, REI Jared. So he is in Oregon, I believe, but he does his unit in Arizona. So it's like a rent by the room. He uses pad
Mhm.
split. Yeah, so he's found that market to be the best for him. It's definitely what Pace Morby folks are kind of switching to in a sense, or pushing a lot more. They've kind of gone away from the short term rentals and Airbnb and whatnot, and they're definitely saying that rent by the room is going to be the future to help with cost of living and high housing prices and whatnot.
Mm. No, I like for me, I'm really open to strategies, but I'm also feeling like maybe I'm doing too many strategies, so I might have to dial it back and kind of stay hyper focused to be successful, you know? Someone reached
No,
out. What do you mean someone on my channel? I didn't do anything. I'm not even
I
attached.
thought that person was coming from your channel because I don't see the comments on Mark's and I don't see them on mine.
Oh,
My,
maybe someone is Jovi could be deleting it. So Jovi,
Oh, that's
because
fair.
I don't see anything that says paired. So if they were coming from another channel, it would say paired. So maybe
I'm
Jovi's
wrong.
knocking them out before anyone
yeah,
else sees them.
don't
Uh,
be blaming me, bro.
Kim Jong Un, thanks for stopping by. Please subscribe though. Uh,
He's got nukes. He's got a nuke ready.
yeah, but yeah, I mean, I think definitely. But I watched a ton of videos after Dylan, you sent me this topic, and the
Mhm.
one thing that really blew my mind was most of these videos, most of them are blaming someone else. They're like,
Yeah,
it's not my fault. This is just how it is, and it's someone else's fault, and that's why we're here. And I was just like, wow, like man, I was shocked to see that.
Uh, I did want to ask you, Dylan, since you're over there, your market.
mhm.
I'm noticing, obviously, as we hit the summer, and you too, Mark, because you're an agent. Um, I'm seeing a huge influx of listings coming out, and I'm curious because the Redfin over here just was on the news, and they were saying how they're seeing a lot of listings come up, but houses are staying on the market, so they're seeing a potential downturn in home prices. What are you guys seeing in your markets?
I would say here it's very like when people quote broad things about the housing market across the entire United States, I don't think that's a really good way to do it. Like, yeah, you can say inventory across the whole thing, but that doesn't mean anything to somebody that's in LA comparing that to somebody that's in, Indianapolis. We really haven't seen a ton of softness here, at least, just from my experience. Like, I listed that property that I just got that listing for on a Friday. We accepted an offer on Saturday,
Nice.
and it was at asking price. So I don't know. Some places might be feeling the pressure more than others. And I have a feeling it's a lot of the coastal cities where the prices are so much higher, like what you see going on in Canada too, which Canada is a whole different story because of how their mortgages work. But like with the prices, just the higher the prices, it seems like the more volatility they have in pricing. Here in the Midwest, just since our prices are a lot lower than everybody else, it feels like we're a little bit insulated. So we're not getting that pressure. Like I'm not getting rent pressure right now either. Like I was talking about this last night on the call with Frank and them, that I was actually able to increase my rents this year, and I really didn't have any pushback because we're just not seeing the same stuff in Indy.
Mhm.
Wait. You got on that call?
Hmm.
I thought they ended it before we got on.
No, no, we were on there for 2 hours before you showed up, and then you showed up right like 5 minutes after we ended the call.
Bastards. Uh, well, back to yeah. So Hawaii is just very very unique. It's an outlier, right? I mean, we have limited transactions in a sense, but price point is so high. So a lot of it reflects a lot of what Zuber talks about, right? Where you don't the median home price probably goes up a lot of times because you have these higher price point homes taking price cuts, but yet because they're still above the median, you know, the median price goes up based on that, right? So you're seeing a lot of price cuts, but because the higher inventory or the higher price point items are taking price cuts and they're still selling, that it just actually raises the median price point and it just kind of throws people off, right? They're like, how is this possible, right? Interest rates are high and a lot of things too is a lot of people don't realize like there is a lot of cash buyers to it for Hawaii. And I don't want to. I don't know. It's just, I don't want to say money laundering and whatnot, but Hawaii definitely is a great place to park your money if you can buy something cash, and then a lot of people will take out like a line of credit because Hawaii has
Mm.
very favorable lines of credits. So you buy something cash. Um, what I do notice too is, if you buy certain areas, you don't have as much maintenance as maybe some other areas in the Midwest and whatnot for your properties, right? You don't have that extreme weather also, so you're not dealing with as many maintenance issues in a sense. So you can park your money there and you borrow against it, right? And then you can either, reinvest it or, whatnot. But so that's what a lot of people do. Hey Charles, thanks for stopping by. Do I have his their channel in here? Shit. Let's see. Do I have Charles parents? But Carrie's doing some cool stuff on TikTok. So she's doing a lot of cool. She's on summer vacation right now from teaching. So, but shoot, I don't know if I have it here. But if I have it, I'll put it in there. Oh yeah, I do. Right here. Go. Please subscribe to their channel. Go check them out. Help them get their subscriber count up too. Steven says our mortgages suck. So he's talking about Canada. We only get 5 years fixed, and getting approved as a self-employed employee is a whole nother story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I can't believe that, dude. Your rate's changing every 5 years. That is, oh my god, that's bonkers.
Yeah, and with like, because if you think about it, with some of the costs, like let's say you get a 3% rate versus a 6% rate, that is a substantially different payment for people. So like, even if you were like, oh yeah, we can easily afford this at 3%, and then it jumps to six, like you probably have to sell your house and move.
Yeah, that's nuts. And I'm curious, would you have to requalify every 5 years? You know what I mean? Because
Mm,
you're getting a new interest rate. What if you don't have a job? You know
yeah,
what I mean? You're like, well, thanks for the interest payments for the last 5 years. Appreciate it. And the bank takes your home back.
yeah.
You know what I'm
Maybe
saying?
Steven can comment on that. I don't know. I was thinking it would just switch to an arm after that, but if you
Yeah.
have to go in every 5 years and get a 5 year fix, that'd be terrible.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, I think you have to go in and get another
Wow.
approval. Yeah.
That's insane.
Sorry, I'm a little congested today, so even with Zuber's recording this morning, I have to keep muting myself. But he was actually late by a few minutes. I was shocked,
Mm,
but I don't think it was his. It was probably somebody else. But um, yeah, I don't know.
Mar-
I might have to tell him. We might have to switch to like every other week. There's not as
Mar-
many comments. That's why to for like what every week doing it, but we do our best. So I actually take a lot of stuff off of X right now.
Mhm.
mm. No, that makes sense.
Are you is Pittsburgh the new Gary? Is that what we're seeing here? Sounds like everybody's investing over there now.
Um, there's a lot of people interested. I think it's also because a lot of places are unaffordable, and I think people are just looking for ways to get their foot in the door, looking for cash flow. And I think what helps is that a lot of, like Jack does his Thursday Western PA call or whatnot, or even on my lives recently, I've been getting more people like boots on the ground in Pittsburgh on the lives and on the calls. So people are kind of able to throw their questions out there, get interaction with like agents that we work with, or property managers or contractors. So I think it just kind of gives other people a little more confidence, like, oh, okay, at least have I can put a face to the name now, right? Or I kind of have some interaction with this individual. So a lot of people are looking at Pittsburgh. I think it's just because it is affordable, and at least there's a decent group of us there, so they know that, like, okay, there's other people that I can pick their brains or get help when needed. So for example, um, Lars, who was previously investing in a different market. He went to the ORAD event, and after that, after he decided to pivot towards Pittsburgh, he met up with some of the people that we use in Pittsburgh or on calls, and then he got his property. And then, for example, he needed to get something picked up at Home Depot, I believe, or something, and they wouldn't ship it or something or I forgot what the thing was. But he messaged out on school, hey, is someone in the Pittsburgh area? Can they, I'll pay you or whatever. Can you run this errand for me or whatever? And I messaged this other Steven, not the Steven that's in the chat, but this other Steven who's living in Pittsburgh now. So he moved from Orlando to Pittsburgh. I said, hey, I don't want to put you on the spot, so I'm not going to tell Lars. But I said, Lars is asking someone if they can help him. So if you're up to it, reach out to Lars. And Steven's like, yeah. So Steven messaged Lars, hey, what do you need me to do? Whatever. So Steven helped Lars out with whatever he needed. And like Jack always helps Lars out. So that's why Lars also didn't want to bother Jack because Jack is always helping me, so I want to see if someone else can maybe help me out. But yeah, Steven stepped up and was like, oh yeah, man, let me know. And then so Steven, whatever Lars needed, he helped him out with that.
Hey Frank, how you doing?
And hi Frank. Even though Frank ended the call before I got on, I don't know how he know. They know that I come on at 8 p.m. Pacific, so they cut it every time right before that now. See, Flavio thinks that you have to wear a bulletproof vest to walk around Pittsburgh. So he's like, Ray, if you want to go to Pittsburgh, wear your vest.
Maybe that's the new thing. Just find a place where you have to have full-blown body armor and invest there. Because if it feels like that's what's being successful right now.
Well, even though Frank is talking, he didn't say hi to me. I will put the PayPal link to the ORAT shirt that he is raising money to donate to the Blind Center. So yes, go check it out. Steven says, sorry, Mark, for always bugging you at 2 a.m. about properties. Yeah, no worry, man. I'm usually up anyways. So.
Oh my god.
Sorry, man. Dylan, what were you gonna say?
It looks like Lynn has a question. She said, what is the most frugal thing that you have done while investing in real estate?
Frugal, huh?
Or you've been super cheap? I know for like when I was paying for my renovations, like the only thing I ate was like white rice and like chicken like in the air fryer, just like chicken breast and white rice. It was the most boring thing ever. But I had to pay off those renovation bills for my triplex when I was working on that.
I paid a contractor to do my siding in Michigan for a whole house for about $2,000 some. So I was pretty frugal in my opinion. So I feel bad about it, but you know what I'm saying. You gotta do what you gotta do.
This Lycum dude is nuts.
Just writing the most wild things.
Well, at least you're not, like I said, at least do not personally attack anyone. So whatever.
That's true.
You are.
That can't be a real person. That's gotta be an AI, bro.
Well, as long as AI can subscribe, I don't really care. But whatever.
You gotta subscribe and like every video.
Frugal, man. I don't know. I don't know. I really can't really think of. I mean, I still have my truck that's paid off, and my '05 truck, my Tacoma, that's making all kind of funny noises. But I would never buy a truck again because I don't want people asking me for help moving furniture. So, but yeah, frugal. I don't know. Can't really say there's anything that sticks out right now. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, thanks, Frank. Oh shit, that's what I was gonna do. I was gonna put Frank's channel in here. Here we go. Go subscribe to Old Guy REI. I haven't seen any recently, so I miss it. His van confessions. I don't know if he's been doing them recently, but go subscribe to Frank's channel, please. And if you haven't, go order your shirt before the next ORAD event. But yeah, anything else you guys want us to? We kind of got off topic a little bit, but I mean, before we wrap things up, then maybe how do you think social media plays a role in consumerism? Is that part of the problem, you think?
I think it's like one of the biggest parts of the problem because you don't see what other people's lives are actually like. They want you you see what they want you to think their life is like based on a highlight reel of things that they do maybe a couple times a year that it may feel like it's portrayed as like they're doing that every day, like going on vacations, buying expensive cars, going to nice dinners and stuff like that. You're like, man, what am I doing? Not being there yet. And it's like they're probably not even there, to be completely honest. Some of these videos might be from years ago, that they're just posting online again. Just trying to keep up with people. And I think it elevates the level that people are wanting to keep up with others at, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Frank says he's making lunch for work every day instead of eating out all the time. Well, Frank, you should tell Cynthia to make your lunch for you, please. No, don't tell her I said that, Frank.
On the topic of social media, I would call it. We talked about this a little bit at Tacoma Fi. We chatted about how AI is like destroying YouTube. Did you? That's Dion's particularly the one that brought up this. And can I tell you, from what I've seen on YouTube, there's a lot of garbage out there when you're searching for certain type of content that's just AI generated content, right? And it's almost getting to the point that the content is so regular now, you actually almost have to hunt for the real person creating YouTube videos. So I think Dion had said that like YouTube's going to be obsolete because of this, and it's going to be harder to actually grow a YouTube channel. What are your thoughts on this, guys?
I've seen a lot of that. Like you'll go to watch it. It might be like an informational video, and then it's like an AI bot speaking about it with just B-roll the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I really don't like that stuff. I'm not gonna lie. I know there's a lot of people though on YouTube that are like the digital marketer creator types that are like selling courses on YouTube channel automation, and they're like, you can just throw out videos in 15 minutes, and it's like, yeah, it's not good. It's not a good video.
Well, I
I
think
don't like it too much.
to
I
that
also hate
point,
shorts. Not gonna lie. I hate every short form content because I feel like it turns people into goldfish.
yeah. Well, I think to that point, and I think maybe Sean Cannell, Think Media, touched on it. He was almost like these type of lives or unedited things are going to be the new thing for YouTube, where, like you're saying, Ray, the AI stuff, all these AI generated things is kind of, cookie cutter format stuff is you just got to scroll through it, and these type of lives where people are just talking and answering real questions, or even like, oh, I keep forgetting. Don't forget, everyone. Tonight is Raging Tomato. Lumberjack Landlord will be debating someone. I forget who it is, but I believe the topic was, what was it, like socialism versus capitalism, somewhat to that extent, right? I think that's the kind of the topic. But don't forget, Raging Tomato, Lumberjack, and some people may cry. I think he's going to hurt some feelings tonight.
You'll lose
But
brain cells.
I think that's the kind of content that people are looking for, where it's like real people talking, right? And I think that is, so we'll see.
Well, do you get worried about this, Mark? This is the one way I look at it. I look at like the old way of surfing Google, right? When you had to look for information for anything, you just Googled it, right? Now what do? Nobody's Googling anymore. If you're with it, you're on AI, and then you let it like sift through the information. You get the information in like 10 seconds, So my question is, when you're on YouTube, it feels like how Google is. It feels like very old school way of finding information, because once AI really just overpopulates YouTube with just all this garbage, you know what I mean? You're going to have to scroll through to actually find the content. It's almost going to be labor intensive, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Especially for smaller channels. That's kind of like what I was kind of thinking, how it would have an impact.
All right, so Flavio got kicked out of my channel, so he's showing up on someone else's channel. It says parent, so I'm not. All right, well, This was a fun one. This is a great topic. I love doing these. I will be back tomorrow with Tony Daniels. He's a firefighter in Ohio, and Derek Vickers. He's a mobile home park investor in Florida, and we're going to be kind of maybe adding on to this topic somewhat. It's kind of about the shoot. What was the topic we were talking about? I forget. Oh, scarcity. How they use scarcity to kind of brainwash you into purchasing things, or that mindset in a sense. So yeah, I love it. So always jumping on these. Oh, Lumberjack said they were gonna be talking about Section 8 tonight. All right.
Hmm.
Oh, so we're gonna have somebody that understands Section 8 very well, and then some people that just like know what Section 8 is roughly that are gonna be arguing with him about it.
Pretty
Hmm.
much, yeah. Like I said, I think
Awesome.
people are gonna be have their feelings hurt tonight, and it's gonna definitely be very interesting.
Yeah,
So yeah.
I love
Is
when
this
the
like
statements start with "I feel" because we just know that there's no facts coming afterwards.
is this a non landlord person he's talking to, or like anti landlord?
I don't know who the so I think what happens is it's gonna have like one main person he's somewhat debating, and then there's like a forum or panel after, so other people that are watching can request to be on it, and then I think there's whatever 5 or 6 people that may go on a panel after, and some may agree with him and some may not, but it'll be a group of people after that. So even like the last millennial Mike was on it a second time, I was kind of shocked, but his last one was just very odd. But yeah, even
Really
even well, even the host was kind of like really trying to
steer it.
help out the other person that was debating by like, hey, your topic is really off. How about this approach? Or how like she was really trying to like help this person, and but yeah, so very interesting. So just I would tune in for the uh, enjoyment. But the funny thing, right? They're all complaining about housing and costs and all that, and you see them putting like $30 super chats in, and all these amounts for super chats, and every kind of the one rent at a time community's like, dude, you guys are just donating money for people arguing, and you guys are complaining about things being expensive.
Like
So
$50 super chat, like I'm never gonna be able to get ahead, and then another $50 super chat later, and I'm like, dude, that was $100. I don't just throw away $100 like that.
yeah. All right, everyone. Well, thanks for tuning in. Thanks all you new people stopping by. Hopefully you guys subscribe. Hopefully you guys had fun. And yeah, we'll get you guys back on, and we'll see you folks tomorrow. Thanks, everyone.